I was really surprised at some of the answers. A lot of what was being said was that chiropractors are not staying in practice. Soon after graduating, they are still waiting tables or a bartender just to supplement their income because either A, they weren't making a lot of money as an associate, or maybe they started to open up their own practice and they just couldn't make it work. And the worst of it is that they just ended up quitting and doing something else. And now here you have this $250,000 debt, student loan, and how the heck are you going to pay that back? So for me, when I hear stuff like that, it's heartbreaking. Like, I can't believe how bad our profession is. It's unbelievable. So I just wanted to kind of address this with the students or the young docs. I think a lot of times you guys are fed a bunch of shit. And it's not even what's happening in the schools. It's happening right when you get out, or you're hearing it at different seminars and at events. And this is going to be a little bit like taboo, I guess, is a good way to say it. I don't know how to say this. It is okay to not necessarily charge a lot of money for what you do. Okay? You're not going to hear that from a lot of people. When you start out, trust me, it's okay. I remember my friend that I went to school with, he and I were doing a screening together. I ended up having majorly humble beginnings to where I got into this dump of an office when I first started my own practice, which actually my anniversary is coming up next week. So I've been in practice, been a chiropractor for over almost 21 years, but had my own for about 19 years, I believe. It was 99, whatever. Anyway, we both were running a screening. We're doing this event and we're screening new people. And I remember him saying, okay, it's going to be, I charge $40 a visit. And this was $19.99. And I was like, dang, man, that's cool and all, but I'm trying to just survive. Like, I will take anything at this point. And I was charging $20. And I lined up a shitload of patients. He didn't. He was working part-time as a teacher, still does to this day. And for me, I was able to eventually grow my base. And I think that's the most important thing to realize is you need to at least have a foundation and a base. And if you're shooting them out of the water before you can even gain any traction, you're not going to make it. And one thing that I've learned is, and I learned this from Dr. Fred, and I took it to heart. You're not going to build a practice on a few home runs. You're going to build a practice on a lot of base hits, especially in the very beginning. And what that means is don't try to hit a home run every single time with every single person that comes in the office. When you have a new patient start up, don't look at them with a dollar sign on their forehead or I need that person to come in because I've got to pay my rent today, or I've got to be able to pay that electric bill, or I've got a car payment or my student loan. Do not look at them like that. And don't think, well, shit, I got to close this person. And by the way, I hate that word. I need to close this person in order for me to survive. What you need to do is realize that your practice is going to be built on the back end, not the front end. And what I mean by that is if you're trying to close them or convert them on a huge prepay or a huge dollar amount in the beginning, your odds of keeping them, for one, low, right? Unless you're really good at converting and you know what to say. And I'm sorry, but right out of school, you might be good, but you're not great. And it takes great to be able to do something like that. But you can get them to start, and you can be fair, and you can have them come in, and you can take care of them, and you can look at them and love them up, especially if they're having their own financial struggles. Take them. I mean, my God, I have patients right now that have been with me for a long time, but I took over one of my friends. This is a whole story I'll share another day, but I helped out a friend of mine who was having a hard time. She was wanting to move, and they would not, the landlord would not let her go month to month. So she had to leave. So she was stuck. And so I said, come into my practice. Don't worry about paying anything. I'll let you transition out of California. She was moving to Reno. I'll let you transition out. Just stay in my office. That's fine. And I ended up being custodian of her records, and any of the patients that stayed became mine if they wanted to. We gave them that option. So she didn't have that whole abandonment issue at all. But she ended up coming in, and this was 2004, and I still have those patients because I made it very fair. I transitioned them to a nice family plan, like a monthly that they could afford. A great practice is built on the back end. What I mean by that is, don't worry about the big nut in the beginning. Keep them for life. You will create a lifetime patient if you're fair, if they know you care, and they will read you. The millennials, you docs now are the millennials. You are it. And I love it because you guys have a different headspace, a different mindset. And I just think that the people that are kind of talking in your ear, a lot of the docs, it's kind of taboo to say, charge a little less. And everyone wants to say, well, you're devaluing chiropractic. You're devaluing chiropractic. And here's what I have to say about that. You're not devaluing chiropractic. To me, you're valuing humanity. And how are we going to see the masses if the masses, a lot of them right now, especially if they're hitting hard times, can't afford you? And what I want you to really do is when you look at your fees, ask yourself, can you afford yourself? Can you afford your own fees? When was the last time you actually looked and said, could I afford this? And if you can't, chances are neither can they. So be fair, maybe even discount it. And coming out of school, if you're opening your own practice right away, not to put you down, because I know I'm just coming from my own experience, I couldn't adjust shit. And I went to LACC, I could not adjust anything. And it took me getting into a high volume practice to really get my hands on a lot of people. Thankfully, I did that. When you are able to then have that base and you start slow and you just build it up, be fair, you're going to gain that experience. You're going to gain the skill set to then be able to charge a bit more. And then you'll be able to have that confidence to have that conversation to be able to charge a bit more. But right now, when you're starting out, when you're trying to bridge that gap from student to doctor, it's okay to charge less. I think it is. And I'm not going to judge you. There's no judging here. You do what you got to do to make it work. And so when you're going in these bigger groups and you're seeing these closer, and they're doing all of it, that's good and that's great if they're able to do it. But I'll tell you right now, most really aren't. Or it's a modified plan, or it's not exactly what they're saying. And chiropractors have a tendency to exaggerate and lie. And I think that's a shame because especially for you guys coming out, you really need to hear the truth. And the truth is, it's okay to start out and charge something quite modest and be okay with it. Totally okay with it. And so anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. I know it's a bit taboo. I know most docs don't like talking about it. It's kind of like a dirty little secret, but we all do it. Make it affordable for families, right? Make it affordable for them. I was always told in times of recession, when the economy is bad, take care of families. That's what's going to get you through it. And I'll tell you right now, I took that to heart. So I really think it has to do with caring about the person that's sitting in front of you, not looking at them with a dollar sign on their forehead, and actually taking care of them and knowing that they chose the right office to be at. Know your shit, know how to adjust, because if you can convert them because you're good at talking, but you don't have the skill set, then you're going to fail there too. So get your hands on as many people as possible. Get feedback. Get adjusted yourself. Know what you're doing. Know what it feels like. I get adjusted 1 to 2 times a week. I go to my associate. I've always gone to him. And before he was even my associate, because I wanted to learn too. When you're the patient, it's a different headspace. And you're like, you know what? maybe I'm going a bit too fast, or maybe I need to slow it down, or I like what he did that there. I'm going to do that too. You can learn from that. Or maybe, you know what, that felt like that was terrible. Give him feedback. You know what, that was not good. And you learn from that. So get your hands on as many people as possible, plus get adjusted yourself. Care about the people that are in front of you, and they will stick with you for life. So I hope that helps. I really worry about our profession. I'm going to cry. And I just want you guys to succeed big time. And I know you can. It's going to happen. All right. Have a great night. And I'm going to spend time with my family. I hope you have a good one. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.